Welcome to this new thing that I'm trying out. So I know people have said that they want more YouTube content, and I am going to give into that a little bit. It's always something I've kind of wanted to do is kind of sit here and walk through just how I watch games. And while I'm not going to sit here and walk through the entirety of Elon Wake Forest, we got the condensed version. Yeah, I want to give the people what they want and say, hey, here's what I see: good, bad, left, right, up, down. Walk through it. You know, it says 26 minutes. It'll probably end up being 30, 35, just going back through and walking through certain plays. Without further ado, here we go.
The 2023 ACC football season is underway.
Kick into the end zone. Great
Chandler
sight.
Brayboy lets it roll
Great
to the
start
back of
there.
the end zone, and the Elon Phoenix will start with the football at the 25.
So before the play starts, I like this alignment, and Wake uses this a lot. This game, I have a feeling they're going to use it a lot this season. I think to just a traditional eye, you see four down linemen, two linebackers, five DBs. That's traditionally, what they're going to run. They're four down base set. Four down just means four down linemen. But it's how they're aligned that makes this really interesting. See that there's a massive gap here. No one's really lined up over the center. Since no one's lined up there, that's where the game starts. You start being like, okay, the center's going to have to guard someone. Are they going to pick up a linebacker that's coming in on blitz? Is Kevin Pointer going to stunt and just kind of come around here? Is Justine Davis going to stunt around the defensive tackle and Kevin Pointer and come here? What kind of games are they going to play in order to get to the quarterback? And I think now with Wake saying that they're going to get their best players on the field, whether that's linebacker or safety, where they're deeper, it starts opening up a lot of possibilities of just disguising where the pressure is going to be.
On third down and 9.
Sheen Davis is so good. Obviously, it's FCS, but I mean, you can just see how quick Jasheen gets off of a line, and I don't think does he get blocked here? Yeah, basically no one picks him up. That's bad. That's never going to work for anyone. Easy third down for the defense there. It's what you want to see out of the first series.
Taylor Morin, one of the best punt returners in the country, will get a crack here. Past his own 40, right on top of that big WF logo. He's near midfield. Second down, Griffiths throws quickly. There's Taylor Morin.
So I know it's a simple play, but there's a couple things that I like about this to at least explain. So first, I love this little stack right here. This is something I don't think they've ever used in the last couple of years or so, and I like that they're trying new things out. And this is a really hard thing to defend because you have to figure out where each one of these guys are going. So, Grimes can kind of go wherever he wants to go out of that position. He's probably going to be in the slot, but he could come outside. He just go straight for a streak. He come around. Height, is he blocking? Is he going to come out and leak out of the backfield? There's a lot you can do on that left side. The big thing for me is look at how Elon's defending Wake on a 2nd and 7. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in the box. Yes, there are 4 receivers, attached to the line. But Elon basically said this entire game, Wake's not going to run this football. They started lining up how Liberty and how Clemson did Wake Forest last year, which is we're going to sit here and put 7 to 8 people in the box. And if you want to run the ball, good luck. You're going to have to beat us by throwing the ball, which for an Elon team that I don't think has the corners, we know doesn't have the corners to keep up with the receivers. It is what it is. But that's, I think, how people are going to start playing Wake more often. When I did this on the Twitch stream yesterday, that was erroneously deleted, someone did ask me what's to stop all opponent defenses from stacking the box moving forward and dare them to rely on the passing game. And I think it's not just your deep shots, but it's your easy plays like this. They brought a lot of pressure. Doesn't really matter. Taylor Morin gets 13, 14 yards there. Like that's a deterrent. It doesn't matter if you're stacking the box and making a throw. These Wake receivers make you pay. As long as the quarterback doesn't make the wrong read, and that's obviously an important thing, but as long as they don't make the wrong read, more than likely Wake's going to end up getting a positive play. Like Wake uses that's an extension of the run game for Wake. And these little short passes or intermediate passes that they can just go, cool, this is an easy completion. I don't need to force it down the field. I can get 5 to 10 yards or even like that. I can get 10 to 13, 14 yards and start trying to at least back you up.
About the same here on his first reception. First down Deeks inside the 40. Yeah, they've
Same sort of thing here. Yep. Yeah, the wide receivers are still a little bit closer to the line than normal. Still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, and people are really crowding the box from the back end. It's 3rd and 3, which is usually a running down, but again, Elon was like, you guys just aren't going to run the ball today.
Kind of feel like that's been a take that a lot of people, I don't want to say it's a lazy take, but if you watch this offense, it's much different.
On 3rd down and 3, Griffiths.
And I know Mitch is indecisive of something I brought up and something that was something Dave Clawson brought up as well. And this is one where I don't think it's bad that he's too indecisive here. Well, not really indecisive. He's being patient. No one's really open. I don't like the throw to Keyshawn at the top of the screen here. Grimes is kind of, this would have to be, don't make that throw. Don't throw to Grimes because the cornerback that's got Key can back up. There's a linebacker sitting here at the 22 that could come on over. There's a corner on Grimes. Don't throw that. You can't really see the bottom of the screen. So you're really waiting on this middle of the field to develop. So this one's fine for Mitch to sit here and wait for something to get open. Hits Cam height. Boom. Cam Height did great in the passing game, in the pass catching department, I would say. We'll get to pass blocking a little bit later. So, look at it again, 2nd and 7, now we're running down. But if in case you want to, still the same sort of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, why, a question that probably comes up is, why does that matter? Football is a numbers game, and it's inherently just simple math. There are 7 guys that can come up here and stop the run against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's assume Cam Height is blocker 6. That means no one else has to get off their blocks. No one else has to get off of a block. But one person is magically, there's no one to block that person. One person can't block 2 people unless they're Superman. So it's really hard for you to try to coherently run unless you're matching numbers and making that difference 0 or positive in your favor.
The offensive coordinator took over here. That's what they like. They spread you out and they move quickly, and they've got a wide open man.
Great job by Grimes. So this is a big reason why Justice Ellison's going to play a lot. And I think we'll see something from Damon a little bit later on the other end of it. First off, this is a bust. One of these 2 people should not have been blitzing. That's not how a corner blitz works. Someone has to trade off there. So I don't really know whose fault it is, but that's a huge bust. Regardless of that, they still bring a lot of pressure. And this isn't something Mitch can wait on. Everyone blocks pretty well, but again, this is one where there's not enough people to block as people are coming in. And yes, Grimes is open, but Mitch has to have enough time to throw the ball. If Ellison doesn't get a piece of him right here and basically face shield him from getting to Mitch, this isn't a touchdown. It's that split second of, hey, I need to just get at least something of someone to stonewall them so my quarterback doesn't get pulverized. That's why Justice Ellison is so important to this team, and that's why someone like Damon Claiborne, while he's been great in the running game so far, in practice in the first game, he has to get better in this department because this is something that we haven't seen out of Damon Claiborne yet. That's what Justice Ellison is really good at. Leads to an easy pitch and throw, pitch and catch, bam. Wesley Grimes is on the board for the first time in the 2023 season, and everyone who wanted the 4-star to score is extremely happy. Yeah, Justice just basically catches him at the perfect way in the air because that could have been that could have been trouble.
Pitch and catch. Where you want it. You're a demon open wide receiver in the...
Watch the film. Matthew Downing back to work. The quarterback for Elon.
All right, so there's a lot going on here. This was one of my favorite plays watching this, at least. So, again, to look at the alignment on the defensive line, it's different than it was on that third down. So, Wig's going to try to be a little funky with how they're aligning their defensive line. Kevin Pointer. Buddy, oh my.
Watch the film.
Number 91 in the middle of your screen right here. Look how fast he gets off the line right here. Look how fast he gets off the line and just not only gets through the line of scrimmage, but then just essentially destroys the play because he's knocking the lineman into the running back. That's what we saw to Kevin Pointer during the fall. I think he can do this against good competition. Because again, with Elon's not exactly a small offensive line. I know they're an FCS school, and I don't think they're necessarily going to be great this year. This is a solid 305+ pound offensive line that this defensive line went up against on Thursday. This isn't some scrub like 280 pounds. We're just trying to out athlete people, even though they're at the lower level. There's some meat on these bones. So Kevin Pointer, I think, is going to play well. Malik Mustafa fit this run so well. I'm going to slow this down for a bit. So we see that the ball is going to come to the field side, so where there's more grass at. And you see everyone start coming down. Malik does a good job of not overrunning the play because what he's supposed to do, he's on the backside. He's essentially responsible that if this ball is coming this way and then ends up trying to bounce back, he has to clean that up. So instead of end up in here, behind Jasheen, just in kind of the muck, he's still playing the backside pretty well and still gives himself a good chance that if he's able to if running back's able to stop on a dime, then he can still come clean it up. But he sees this gap and just fires through it. Absolutely just fires through it. He knows that offensive lineman isn't going to be able to get to him in time. So that's how you drew that up. That's how you sat there and drew it up on the whiteboard. That's how you talked to him in practice, how you walked through it. A1, good job, Mal. Love that out of him.
Who's going nowhere. Malik Mustafa was the first guy in there from his safety position.
See a missile. He looks like what God would make a football player look like.
Perfect for Malik. 100% perfect.
Can they kind of explain that to us?
Again, see this little wide arrangement. Love it. You get to see some weird funky stuff out of here.
Blitz coming for Wake, and they get him.
All right, so this is where Jasheen Davis shines. Absolutely shines. So it's supposed to be 1-on-1, but Jasheen Davis makes it 1-on-3, and that's not going to work for anyone. And this is why I don't really care about sacks as a whole, because yes, sacks are great. I want someone to get the sack. I don't care who gets it. It could be Bryce Gagnes, it could be Jacob Roberts, it could be Kendron Wayland, it could be a corner coming off a blitz. I don't care. What I care about is how you get there. How they get here on this play is Jasheen Davis comes in, immediately has this guy beat. Gets on his inside, it's done. There's no way he's winning that rep, which forces the running back to have to come in and help out on Jasheen Davis. Well, because that happens, Gagnes realizes this and stunts and just kind of curls around Jasheen Davis, and he almost kind of runs into Jacob Roberts here, which is kind of funny, who's coming on a delayed blitz. But now there's 3 people focusing on one guy and 2 pass rushers that have basically free lane to the quarterback. That's what you want. Jacob Roberts gets in. Gagnes is right there behind him if he had missed. That's why I don't care about that. It's the gravity Jasheen Davis can bring on a singular play, whether it's this level or at a high level. it's immense, and they've always had a guy like that. They've had a guy like Bogey who would draw like that. They had a guy in Rondo Bothroyd. Jashine's there. He is there. I also like how Gagne's got off his block well too. Gagne's played a good game for me. I like that. Gets a little bit of a push there too. Yeah, Gagne's. I think they've got something with Bryce. I'm glad he has another year, and I think they've got something with him.
A big stop by the Demon Deacons.
They said we're going to see him -6 total yards, and Taylor Morin's got the fair catch at his own 4. And Jamie Newman's still playing in Canada.
Yeah.
3rd and 2. Once again, you got a little diamond here. Trips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people in the box. Running in the ball against this, probably not a great idea.
Good point.
On 3rd down, Griffiths fading.
So this is on 2 different people. This is on Mitch and this is on Nick Sharp.
Still playing in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll break down a little slower. So Sharp just gets beat here. And it's tough. Once Sharp gets beat, and I know Mitch's eyes are downfield, I would have liked to see him curl out. I know it's after the fact, but I would like to see him curl out. No one's open. I think he's trying to throw the ball here. So I think that's Keyshawn. I think that's where he wants the ball to go to, but he gets hit in the leg, and also I think he kind of thinks this guy might be able to make a play on it, so he doesn't. When Sharp gets beat like that, I think he needs to break the pocket. So that's one that's kind of on 2 different people. He didn't hold it for too long necessarily. Like there was nothing he could have done throwing the ball, but I think he could have broken it. Sharp had a mostly good game, but that was a blemish on Nick right there.
Griffiths fading, and he gets dumped. Marvin Pearson will get credit for the sack. The quiet leader of this defense with a big play to set up 4th down.
Yeah, if there's one player on this Elon defense that's getting looks at by the NFL, it's probably Marvin Pearson.
Marvin Pearson's good. Elon as a team isn't really great, but him and their wide receiver, really wide receiver, they have a couple of guys that should be playing on the FBS level, and Pearson's one of them.
First time that he brings in the fair catch.
Odds for the players.
First 10, same sort of thing here. Look, it's not even on 3rd down. They're trying to play funky with the alignment here. Again, this is where you start seeing some weird stuff because now Evan Slocum isn't in, and you got Nick Anderson in. And I think this is a fine position for Anderson to be in as a nickel against FCS opponents. He's not going to get beat out by speed here. I think against FCS and against more run-oriented teams, Nick Anderson playing a lot of nickel snaps is gonna help. Playing safety and otherwise, sure. Playing nickel, I think those are 2 situations where you'd like to have him there.
To take naps in.
I think we woke somebody up.
Take naps.
All right, let's slow this one down real quick. Again, Jasheen just makes things happen for so many people. I don't really know. They're trying to pull, but I think the right tackle just misreads something for whatever reason, and that leaves Jasheen Davis with a tight end. Since Jasheen Davis has the tight end and this is supposed to be an RPO, the running back is going to probably try to block the field side edge, which then this time it's BJ Williams, which means there's just a wide open lane for Nick Anderson. But that's the thing. Like, it's the fact that you have someone like Jasheen that can just absolutely wreck stuff, and if you don't account for it, you're dead. It's great. Nick does a good job here. Comes in, boom. They're trying to bring pressure from a lot of different angles, and I think Nick's gonna be a great piece for that.
Matthew Downing gets sacked again. Clearly Wake is well rested, and that's Nick Anderson.
The guy just does it all for this defense, and he doesn't get a lot of notoriety, former walk-on, but the guy just is a player, just a football player.
3 down linemen. Yay. I love these sort of sets because first you get either 3 linebackers or you get 6 DBs on there. but you have Kendron, Kevin Pointer, and Jasheen Davis, probably your three best pass rushers, and you have them lined up. And Kendron has some nice speed to him, so him lined up so far outside the tackle's left shoulder, great. You know you're probably going to need help on Jasheen, so you're lining him out wide. It's great because someone can kind of come inside of him. Pointer is really strong like that.
They'll have to protect here on 3rd down and 15. Downing under.
And Kevin Pointer is the person that makes this play just absolutely done. Like dead on sight. Dead on arrival. Again, there's someone supposed to chip him and be able to stop him from getting there too quickly. But he's just too fast for these guys. He's just too quick, too explosive. Burst through the hole. And I mean, a sack would have been great, but I mean, you take him actually getting a hand on the quarterback's arm and forcing an errant throw there, 24/7.
Downing under duress quickly again, has no time to get the pass out to Christian De Silva, and it's 3 drives.
Should probably put that back on normal.
It's another punt for Romanek. Who's forced. He was asked, where's the real Miami? And he said, Oxford, Ohio.
Same thing here. 7. Again, 7 in the box. I would be fine with the run, but just because someone's kind of stacked, so I think you can kind of stretch things out, but They don't. Pitch and catch. That's the second big reason of why stacking the box against this Wake team is hard. The less people you have in coverage, the more opportunity you have for something like this to happen. Once you have this sort of look for Wake, you almost lose the play on sight, because this corner has to be either good enough to either hold him enough to where he's coming across the middle of the screen, from the middle of the field, and break that up, which is going to be really hard, or be able to beat him deep if you don't get to Mitch. So if you don't get to Mitch, these receivers are just like, there's just too much open space. And that's not just because the corner was playing off of Grimes. There's just too much open space for someone. You can't really play on his hip for that much open space, because if you lose him, it's a touchdown. So he's trying to prevent that, and it gives Wake a free explosive, just absolutely free. That's one of the hardest parts about playing Wake and stacking the box against them, is you get to cover less grass through the air. Everyone blocks really well. Good job, Mr. Trey Bolt. Love that.
As Antonio White was in coverage, and
if you say he bangs again,
oh boy,
there's
Claiborne fights through, great. If they'll actually give us an idea of how many people are in the box beforehand. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same sort of thing. 7 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Claiborne's kind of lucky to be able to squirt through here, because this dude just misses a tackle. The dude actually tackles correctly. This should be a negative, or at the very worst, neutral, but just completely whiffs the angle on the tackle. Claiborne's able to squirt free from there. But that's a big reason why running the ball was just so hard. You're running against numbers. Oh, I know what this play is. All right, so this play is one of the big reasons why I thought Donovan would be missed a little bit in the passing game. I don't think so. This is in the run game, absolutely. So again, Elon stacking the box here. That's fine, normal. It's 3rd and 3. You've only got what is that? 13 yards to the end zone. So it was said that Wesley Grimes right here had Audi Confessor, wide receiver coach, waiting for him after the play. Either he's just lined up wrong, or I don't know what else the or could be, because I think someone's supposed to chip this defensive end. And by chip, you don't necessarily have to block them. It's just getting a piece of them to slow them down so they don't have an immediate head start getting to the running back or the quarterback. Just get a piece of him. If you can knock him down, great. But if you can get him off balance and get him a step or two slower, that's fine. What happens here is no one gets a piece of him at all.
And again, third
And
down
it gets a little weird because
to the edge of the
Keyshawn looks and is like, if you look at Keyshawn, he looks and he's like, wait a second, that was the guy I was supposed to block. So I think there was just a miscommunication of who was supposed to do what there. And it's either miscommunication or just someone was lined up wrong. And I think that's what happened. And bam. The offensive line blocked that, honestly, pretty well. But because a receiver didn't do their job and just had a miscommunication, I don't know who it was specifically, had a miscommunication, that play is dead on arrival. And now everyone thinks the offensive line sucks at run blocking, when in reality, it wasn't their fault.
They just have not been there.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All right, 3 down linemen again, but it's a little funky this time. You've got BJ Williams here, Bryce Gagne's here, and on the edge, as another end, Kevin Pointer. So usually in like a 3-3-5, you have like a 330-pound lineman in the middle. Someone like Kevin Pointer in like a traditional 3-3-5 could, in theory, be a end in a 3-down lineman. He's over 280. He can set the edge here. He can control that part of the line of scrimmage. So it's not really shocking to see him there. And you got fun little Nick Anderson lined up as not a defensive end, but he's an edge rusher at the end of the day. Kevin Pointer shoots through. Done. Just absolutely cooked.
comes flying in for a big tackle for loss.
Kevin Pointer had a fantastic game. The PFF grades on him, I don't know what went on. His pass rushing grade wasn't great, and I don't really know why. I love this out of Jamari. Love this out of Jamari. I know people are upset the fact that he's playing, what is that? 10, that's about 11 yards off the receiver. You're playing 7 yards, so essentially what you want him to be doing is coming downhill. You don't want him to be flipping around and trying to waffle and be like, oh no, not if he's actually going on a streak and not just going for the sticks. No, you want to make sure that he can come down hard on the receiver. You want him to just be going straight to him. You don't need any extra jazz here. He does a great job here of playing his little spot. And then the second the ball is going there, he breaks, makes a fantastic tackle. That is a great open field tackle. 10 out of 10. That's exactly how that play is drawn up. Obviously, you want every play to be a pick six or a fumble recovery for 6. That's not feasible. People are going to catch the ball. What you do about it is, do you stop them from getting to the sticks, and do you stop them from getting to a position where they can go for it on 4th down? Jamari Glasgow does that perfectly there.
Tracks to set up 4th down.
What was crazy is that they're still 2 yards short of the 1st down. That was their best drive.
Jasheen plays so fast on film. And faster in real life.
At your own 34-yard line.
Yeah, we're gonna skip punts here.
Points per game, 6 years in a row. There's the hang and bang. Griffiths completes. 6 years.
Again, this is just free for Wake. Like at this point, there's no one in the middle of the field. Your best defender right here, it might be the ref. Like it honestly might be the ref, because this guy now, the way his body's positioned, can't really push him towards the boundary. So he's basically gonna have to say, what can I do to not commit pass interference, but also stop you from catching the ball? But Jamal puts his foot in the ground here, comes across. There's just not a whole lot you can do about that as a defender. It's a free 15 yards for Wake every single time that someone brings 7 or 8, and the offensive line and tight end hold up. Free play. I thought it was really interesting that Elon just didn't back out. Like they were consistently going to have 7 in that box. They were consistently going to do that. This was great for Mitch. Love that from Mitch. Sees that there's nothing there.
It's very difficult to defend.
Yep, see there's nothing there. Breaks out. I think he might have Key coming across the middle here. That could have given him a few extra yards. But ultimately, yeah, he theoretically has it, but I think the right play was breaks it, still gets the 1st down. Still a check.
With under 10 seconds to play in the 1st, he's got another.
But nonetheless, absolutely do play tempo.
3rd and 7. Griffiths cuts it.
Jamal Banks is so good. Again, I'm pretty sure that's Justice Ellison.
But nonetheless, they
It is. Stonewall's guy. Stonewall's guy.
absolutely do play tempo.
3rd and 7. Griffiths cuts
50-50 ball becomes 60-40, 70-30.
7 less plays on
I think that was, yeah, that is Matt Golban. So Matt Golban doesn't get beat necessarily. It's a really good play design, but that's why Justice is here. And Justice just stonewalls this guy. And that's what Justice Ellison is good at, and that's why he plays a lot. Like, that play doesn't happen if Justice doesn't stonewall him. Jamal. At first, I thought it was a bad throw when Mitch did this, but then when you watch it, there's no way that other corner, that safety, can get there in time. And I think Jamal has about 3 to 4 inches on that corner that's on him. I'm fine throwing up.
Which was a big part of those 9 touchdowns. Matthew Dennis adds the extra point. 7.
They need him to get the 10-yard runs first before he can get the 50-yard runs. Those 10-yard runs are vital.
Ken Drawn. All right, this is where Ken Drawn Wayman at the deacon position is something that I didn't really know what they expect out of him. These are the type of plays that's expected out of him. What happens here? Gets off the line. Immediately beats this guy. Immediately he's got this guy pretty much beat. There's the best he can do is hopefully push him into his own offensive lineman and hope for the best. There's not a whole lot he can do. But he ends up taking on that offensive lineman as well. So now he's taking 2, which frees up Justin Williams, who worked hard here. Justin Williams gets freed up, and since Justin's free now, he can come around. This right tackle can obviously see him, and now has to make a decision: do I stay on Ken Drawn or do I go get Justin? No matter what the choice is, your quarterback is probably screwed. So he picks Justin, and since this right guard basically didn't have a good hold on Ken Drawn at all, Ken Drawn, since he keeps fighting, gets through it. The pointer slips, and pointer probably should have had it. But Ken Drawn gets in, done. That's what you want out of the deacon spot. That's what we saw out of Luigi Villain. Like, that sort of effort, that sort of just drive and just disruption. That's what you want out of Ken Drawn.
So I jinxed Griffiths. That's his 3rd incompletion. Now
This one's on Mitch. I'm pretty sure this one's on Mitch.
So I jinxed.
So this is one you gotta just throw it away. I mean, maybe you get it to Taylor, but that's his first 2 or 3 reads are over here, and they're all really covered. This is one you just gotta throw it away. You gotta see that there's someone right here. You gotta throw that. I mean, you still do have Grimes here, and I think you could have maybe gotten to him, but that's a sack you just can't take.
Comes down to make it 3rd down and forever.
This is kind of an interesting blitz. Mitch Griffiths for a moment.
With almost 3 per game. 3rd down and 18.
And it's 3rd and 18. He's trying to hold on. You gotta make a play there. Like, you gotta get rid of the ball. And I think that was probably the most frustrating part about it for Mitch, was I think he knows he has to make a play there. The offensive line didn't get beat. He has time, but there's only so long you can give an offensive line before doing it. So especially on 3rd and 18, yeah, Wolves are coming for you. So just a little thing that Mitch has got to clean up, and this is something that we haven't seen out of him in practice or in the Elon game or the VMI game last year. So I don't think it's going to be a trend, but it's something that, hey, clean it up.
Last year started hot, finished 8-5.
This receiver's great, man. This receiver's great. I like Brayboy like a lot. Probably their 2nd best player.
Go under center here on 3rd down and 2. Play clock's at 3.
Look at that push from Pointer.
Maybe a little miscommunication on the handoff. They almost ran into each other, and Dixie's going to be.
Yeah, gets the 4th and 1. QB sneak is the
3rd and goal.
most difficult play to defend. This is fantastic. So he gets flagged for a PI earlier in the series, which kept the drive alive. So normally Wake's corners are kind of taught to play through the receiver's hands, and you're going to have your back to the ball. You're not going to have a lot of opportunities for interceptions. That sort of changes when there's only so much ground to cover, Like you're not worried about someone getting necessarily like burning you. You're not worried about that. There's only 20 yards here. There's 21. There's the 11 to the end zone and the end zone 10 yards. It's all you really got there. So you're not too worried about that. So you're able to play a little bit more aggressive and play the ball better. And I wish there were stats on this, but I feel like a lot of Wake's interceptions have come in the red zone because they can play more aggressive there without having to worry about someone getting behind them. Rankin does a great job of first just eliminating him from the play. This receiver, there's no way this receiver's making this play at all. Whether it's dropped from him, from Rankin, or from the receiver, the best thing that can happen here is an incompletion for Elon. That is, ends up getting a pick, getting 2 toes down. I think FCS is a much better football league than Division II Notre Dame College, but Glasgow held his own in this game, and that was a great rep from him. Really good rep. Just essentially eliminated the receiver from the play. That's probably illegal touching if he catches that. So good for me.
Second down and 1.
Yep, this is another one of these situations. Elon has basically all of the players in the box. Wake's playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 guys. Math-wise, I got it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So math-wise, Wake's still minus numbers. But this isn't a play that's designed to break off 20, 30 yards. They want a couple, and that's it. And they get their couple. Just so many loaded boxes Wake was running into.
Now the clock, you see it's moving. It will stop on a first down under 2 minutes. Again, that's a new rule this year as college football not necessarily tries to speed the game up in terms of total time it takes, but looks to reduce the plays by a few per game and also increase the tempo play to play. On first down.
Drops back, drops a dime. I think Cam Hyde is someone that's going to unlock a new part of this offense if he can continue to play well. Because I know it's just Elon, so I'm not trying to be super like, wow, this is legacy defining here. But this is a big reason why stacking the box against Wake is hard. You have less space. You have less people to cover, green grass. Cam Hyde is very athletic. This dude could have been a safety. Could have been a safety. Could have been a linebacker. They thought about possibly an edge rusher coming out of high school. Not Wake, but that's what the scouts thought about him. They were like, this dude's extremely athletic and can play a lot of positions. He settled on tight end. He was a really good receiver and safety in high school. He gets on a linebacker, and that linebacker has to flip his hips. That dude's done. That dude's done. That's easy. That's way too easy for Cam Hyde. He's one of the most athletic tight ends they've had in a very long while. But that's why playing up on Wake can be scary. You open yourself up to a lot of that. Black does a good job with the offensive line as a whole. Does a good job there.
Against TJ Young, the middle time that has to throw this football, and then Nick Anderson, who's just a baller.
Elon is
pointer
on third down tonight. Nice move from Allen, but he goes down a couple yards short. Brendan Harris.
Yeah, this is just to get it. Jamari, what are you doing here? This is the point. I don't know what Jamari's doing here. This destroys Cameron. One of Key or Demond is going to return one this year, by the way. Like they're going to get one. I have a good feeling about that. EB sneak, dangerous play, so hard to stop. So hard to stop. Mitch kind of ran that a little weirdly. I don't really know why he went. He went in a weird angle there, but. I love that this offense can sometimes just be get your play to someone fast, let him cook. It's also rude. This is a rude route combination. So Taylor obviously is getting guarded by this guy. Someone has to get. It's kind of a bust a little bit too because two people try to attend to Justice Allison on the backfield. and no one's covering Mitch too, so that's also great. But yeah, Mitch also has a free line if he wanted to, but he sees Taylor, bam.
Just Taylor Moore, and he is shifty. Moore across midfield. He's got the first down. Sometimes you just want to get it to number 2 and watch him work.
His routes, and then his ability.
Great job from the offensive line too. I thought the offensive line played extremely well. There was definitely there were a couple of busts here and there, but for the most part, I thought they played extremely well.
ACC network this year as well, by the way.
Welcome, George. On third
This
down
is
and 9. Griffiths going.
perfect throw, perfect everything. Good job, team.
New to ACC.
They get blocked. Yeah, so now Elon tries to cover a little bit more of the middle of the field, but the way they're playing doesn't leave any help over the top right now. So you essentially have Jamal one-on-one with a corner that he's already burnt. So an accurate throw, I know some people I saw at least thought like were a little bit. They were like, yeah, it's a good throw, but maybe you could have let him a little more. This is one that you want to throw towards the boundary. An accurate throw isn't just one that gets completed to the receiver. An accurate throw is putting it somewhere that the corner can't get to, and you shield your receiver from getting hit. Mitch puts this kind of on his back shoulder. He turns and is able to just kind of fall out of bounds and not take a hit and not have the corner make a play on it. That's what you want.
This guy has such a wide radius.
That he comes back at some point this season, but that's probably the position where they're best equipped to deal with an injury. Griffiths looking, and probably the position where they're best equipped to deal
What
with
happens
an injury.
here? I think Mitch has got to take off a little quicker. Mitch has got to take off a little quicker, but I think this is more on Cam Height a little bit. Height 20 comes across. Look for someone to block. Great job doing that. Gets just absolutely destroyed in the middle though. That's where that play blows up. If he doesn't get destroyed there, Mitch has green grass and a blocker in Justice Ellison. He's gone and getting to the pylon, but that one little second of Height not picking up that block well enough is what kills that.
Griffiths looking, and he gets
Which is why it's like this stuff isn't always on the offensive line. When the quarterback goes down, running back goes down in the backfield, it's not always on the offensive line. There might be someone else that didn't do necessarily their job correctly in that one instance.
It's Nick Velos.
Thought the offensive line actually blocked well there. Just that one person.
Wide receivers had 9 touchdowns this season.
Mitch rolls out.
They're getting it done.
Griffiths on the move.
Good throw. Better play by the corner.
Incomplete.
Is what it is.
Antonio White
Better play by the corner.
1-for-1. A kick.
This is surprise. There's nothing weird about college football anymore. Nothing surprises me. Does it surprise you?
It just feels a little weird, right?
Yes. Everything surprises you.
Mr. Rankin, what's going on here?
About college football anymore. Nothing surprises me. Does it surprise you?
Gets his hits flip. Yeah, Rankin's trying not to give up the deep ball here. Has to turn his hips. There's no way he's recovering that fast to get there. Is what it is.
About college football feels a little
Negative mark, but
in the first quarter.
they all can't be positive.
They went 3 and out every single possession.
Last time those two guys were together at Virginia in 2021.
Oh, is this the bust?
Almost 4,500 yards.
This is just a bust.
21.
So I think what happens here is I think either Justin goes inside too much or Kendron goes too wide. So in plays like this, you're supposed to set the edge. Setting the edge means is someone's got to control essentially like the left side of the left tackle. And I mean, if they're pulling here, it'd be probably just 64, the right guard that pulls across. Basically, you're controlling this area and saying, I am containing you. You are not allowed to break out here. If you're doing anything, you're coming back across towards the formation. This was something they did that Louisville didn't do against Wake in 2021, where Ellison breaks a long run late in the fourth quarter. They didn't set the edge at all. Wake doesn't set the edge here. Justin Williams gets kind of washed here. There's just a massive hole here. I'm not really sure why Kendron goes wide, and that puts Dylan Hayes and the linebackers in a little bit of a weird position because now they're forced to be like, do I have to come outside? And they don't. Dylan Hayes is playing his role right, but now this linebacker looks out of place because he's supposed to be filling some of the backside. There's no one here. And Deshaun Jones, I guess, continues to think it's a passing play, and I mean he can't get his head around that fast. But right here, I think Deshaun probably needs to know it's a run play, and it's still too late. Boom, off to the races.
Lots of space for Jalen Hampton. Elon is on the board. Bam!
I said it was going to be 30 minutes, and it's already been 45.
He's a former ACC running back. Watch the block by Giancarlos Miller, 82. Seals off the edge, blocks 2 defenders, and allows Hampton
And kicker who won. We got to
hook this up with some rackets and some court time.
hit around a little.
Yeah,
bit.
it was a lot of fun.
It was fun for you.
This is a good example of how blocking can make one running back look good and one running back look bad. So, what happens here? I'd say 7. You can argue with me and say there's 6 in the box. I'm fine with it. Against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're either -1 or even here. I'm fine with that. But regardless, Wake is acknowledging that, hey, Elon is stacking the box and putting more people in the box to make us make a decision here. So throwing well hasn't backed them off. What might back them off is kind of stretching the ball. Just that's not through the tackles. We're going to stretch the ball off tackle. They're going to go this way. Watch what the receivers do here. Wesley, I think it's Wesley Grimes up top, and Taylor Marin. They make this play. Like, obviously the offensive line does a great job. They make this play. This play doesn't happen if 83 right here doesn't really get a great block, but it doesn't really matter because the rusher overruns the play.
It was fun for you.
Marin gets his guy here locked in. Grimes gets his guy locked in. Just doing that gives you enough space in order for Claiborne to shoot through. If Grimes gets on this guy a little more, I think Claiborne might have a bit more yardage on this play. But it's still good enough that you got 10 yards on this play, and that's one of the better running plays you had all game. The wide receivers blocking was something that I did not like not last week on Thursday. I did not like how they blocked for the most part. Keyshawn did well, but that's an example of a play they blocked well and how it makes the run game look so much better. It's why certain people didn't get on the field as a wide receiver young in their career, because they need to learn to do these things consistently. Like, that has to consistently be a thing.
One of the nicest facilities I've ever seen.
It's Claiborne.
This is a frustrating run to me. I guess you think that this guy might take on Key. 4, 5, 6, 7 guys against 6. It's still a numbers game at this point. Like, you are losing a numbers game. That is not going to work for you. You don't get push up front anyways, but you just lost the numbers game in general. That's bad. I don't understand why they kept trying to do that, but still won the game. But I can see it's not something that I'm worried about. But I can see it being a frustrating thing.
If you watch the ACC Network road trip, you got to see them cutting some hair
With the Louis Vuitton.
I don't think Mitch has anywhere to throw it here, which is kind of the bad part. Yeah, Mitch doesn't really have anywhere to throw it here. And this is a big thing on Damon Claiborne. It's not, and also I want to preface this. I know it's 48 minutes into this. Me saying, do this better, this isn't like a shot on them. I think they're all very good players. It's just stuff they need to do better. Right here, for Claiborne, this is the big reason why it's hard to play him more. And he's going to get 30 snaps, like 25, 30 snaps a game. Let's not get that twisted. But the reason why you can't play him more is he doesn't take this block I think Jerkins has this guy, I think, pretty well. Claiborne's got to take this safety that's coming in. And he just lets him get right past him, and that's what gets Mitch. I think Mitch actually has Keyshawn right here. But because Claiborne doesn't pick up that block, that play is dead on arrival. Which, again, makes the offensive line look bad, but the offensive line has their guys pretty well. It's that one blocker that was assigned to Claiborne. He didn't pick it up.
And we just saw Griffiths try to complete. It's incomplete. The flag comes in at the 20, and we'll check the penalty. 3rd down and 10. Elon's
Can't use with a little push up front. I'm fine with it.
Stands in, pumps, looks, flushed.
That's what you want to see out of Nick Anderson on 3rd down. Love that. Again, he kind of fans out there playing some zone. Drive. And while the tackle doesn't finish him, it gets enough to where Dylan Hazen can come in and clean up. And that's fine. Not every tackle has to be the perfect tackle. You want them to bring them down and it be over there, but if it can do enough to where they can't get extra yards and someone can come clean up, totally fine.
The 45-yard line. A flag is on the field on the other side of the 50.
He got some bread.
Again, Elon was just not letting Wake run the ball, like, at all. They get 2-3 yards here, but like this is an 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with everyone jumbled in here against I'll call tight end 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you count Marin. And maybe an 8th with Key getting someone here, but by that time, these guys are already coming in. It's just losing math. It just kept losing math, and that just made it look bad. It made it look worse than it was. They didn't run the ball particularly well, but there's reasons besides the running game just not being good. You need to put yourself in advantageous positions.
Apparently slated to start next to Aaron. Not a bad teammate to have.
Pulls it here. I don't really know what Mitch saw here. I don't think it's a height thing. I just don't know. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to get it tailored, but I think he had enough time to wait for a bit before and not just throw it to where the linebacker is just kind of jumping up and down in front of him. I think this is the one I thought Key was going to break off. Yeah, it is. This is the one I thought Key had. It's really kind of fun to see him and Claiborne in a race.
Just see the speed and burst of Keyshawn Williams once he gets the football. May have got away with a little block in the back there, but nonetheless gets it.
He got a chance there and he took advantage.
It's offsides. You get a free play. Chucks it. Good job. I feel like Jamal had like the quietest 100-yard game ever.
On 3rd down and 3, Elon brings the house. Griffiths feels it, throws it, complete.
Same thing from earlier. Elon brings so much pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They bring 6. No one's in the middle of the field. Can't get home. I think that's an actually good stonewall from Claiborne. It's a very good stonewall from Claiborne. That's more of what you want to see out of him, and lets him be able to complete the passes to Banks. You need that. You need it to be consistent out of Claiborne. They're great rep.
North Carolina native on this Elon roster. 3rd down and 8. Griffiths steps up, throws, end zone.
T2's got to catch that. T2's got to get. That's a. I don't want to say easy, but that's one that everyone expects a receiver to make, not just Taylor. You expect the receiver to be able to make that throw. Matthew Dennis, perfect.
Allen complete over the middle. It's Bonner again. Under a minute to play in the 3rd. On 3rd down and 6. Allen complete over the middle. It's Bonner again, but will he have enough? That's the question.
Well, he's short, but this is a great throw between 2 defenders, Jones and Mustafa, who come in there and make the stop and keep him just short.
Jashin just annihilates that, dude. That's one thing people are going to do against Wake. They're going to try to get the ball out as quick as possible because Jashin's just pushing people back way too quickly.
Do they decide to go quarterback sneak under center? Well, they're under center. We'll find out if they quarterback sneak.
Quarterback sneak, greatest play in football. The absolute greatest play in football.
He needs the 35.
The officials coming in right at the 35.
Bonner, the motion man. They fake it to him. Give it to Hampton instead. Bonner, the motion man.
This is where the fun games are played. So, normal 4-down look. You think everything's all peachy and keen. When the ball's snapped, you see the entire defensive line shift. Now, since they're all shifting, it drags the offensive line with them. They have to do that. It's a little, they fake a little jet sweep here. Someone's got that. They got Slocum that's got him. Jacob Roberts plays this perfectly because all he's taught to do is play this edge, and that's your man. If someone's not blocking it, you can come on in. Otherwise, make sure that running back cannot get past you. They have this completely contained. Deshaun Jones has the backside here. Quincy Bryant's got this in the middle. They're lined up perfectly. Hands it off. 82, I think, probably should have taken Jacob Roberts. I don't really know why he didn't, but I'm not really going to question that. And boom, Jacob Roberts gets him. 82 tries to get Slocum. I don't know if that's necessarily the right play for him, but hey, Wake did their job. A lot of football is lost, not won. There are a lot of times just simply doing your job, whether it's an FCS, an FBS, Power 5, whatever. A lot of times just doing your job is enough to win you a football game because there's so many little busts here and there that just make up the difference of the football game.
Roberts again, who's in there first. 40 in black and gold.
Misdirection. But if you watch the eyes of 40 right here, your linebacker, he's going to keep his eyes in the backfield, watch the quarterback the entire way, and stays right at home.
Yeah, Quincy Bryant coming in. That's the thing. I think even if 82 has him, Quincy Bryant's there to gobble him up.
On third down tonight. Another long pass.
Don't lunge, Deshaun. Don't lunge. Don't lunge. Deshaun Jones played a very good game outside of that. I think he was like the highest coverage grade on the team, and Wake named him one of the players of the game. Deshaun played I was pleased with what I saw with Deshaun.
Sprints up to receive last four past his own 25. Takes one for their last four on third down. Griffiths looking. That's
such a pretty ball. And some of these, yeah, cool. Like he holds it for long, but some of these people, especially when they backed off and only had 5 in the box, like that's where the offensive line has to maul someone. And Michael Juergens mauls someone right here. Absolutely, hold on, Michael Juergens. Let's slow that one down. Juergens, absolutely, this left guard mauls this edge rusher. That's a great job. Good job, team. Very proud of that. Very proud. Let's Mitch do what he needs to do. Yeah, I didn't think the offensive line was really that bad. There's certain people that I thought had bad games. Well, there's one person I thought that didn't have a great game, but everyone else, I think Sharp had one bust, but otherwise I thought the offensive line was pretty fine.
The way that Mitch is running this offense, if you slapped a heart.
This is the play that I don't think someone did something well on.
I mean, the offense. My point is, the offense looks very similar to what it did.
There's nothing the offense. There's nothing the other 10 people in the offense can do. Right tackle Eric Russell. Zach Vaughn. I want to make sure I get the person right. Zach Vaughn just lets the edge rusher get inside of him. That's it. Game over. Doesn't matter. It's not a Mitch needs to hands off or Mitch needs to pull this. Mitch is done either way especially because now since he's so off balance, this other edge rusher here is just waiting for you. So that play, the second Vaughn let him get inside of him, dead on arrival.
Absolutely nowhere, and no surprise.
Yeah, the right tackle, Gordon. Well, they haven't had to, and it's not that they're totally against it or anti-transfer portal at quarterback. They really feel good.
Yeah, this drive died because the right tackle. I think they wanted to give Spencer Clapp some rest and I get Zach Vaughn some reps with the right tackle.
Against it or anti-transfer portal at quarterback.
Zach Vaughn just did not play well in his limited snaps. He's got to get better. Nothing bad about the guy. Just got to get better. Can't get edge like that at all.
You can angle it for Elon. Down just inside his own 30.
Another 3 down. Look, Jashin. Oh, Jashin. This is great on so many different levels. So first, let's get to the play. First, you've got Jasheen just absolutely working this right tackle. Done. Let's Pointer get through. Now the quarterback's scared. Now the quarterback's scared. I don't really know why he throws his ball. I don't think there's a receiver at the very bottom of the room unless he's just all the way past or out of the play. I don't know. But you threw this into essentially triple coverage. You threw this into really triple coverage. It's tipped by Malik and Deshaun gets it. I thought that was great. But that's why even with three linemen, this team is trying to get pressure from so many different ways because it allows Deshaun Jones to do something like that.
And then the great pick by Deshaun Jones.
I don't like how they call him Deshaun Jones, unless everything I've heard has been wrong, including from him.
Wake Forest offense back to work.
Wake went jumbo. So this is partially the offensive line, partially Claiborne. Wake has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers here against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But you have Grimes that can come in and pick up number 1. So you actually end up being even in the game, in the rushing game right here.
Wake Forest
Grimes picks up his dude. Oh, excuse me, Banks. Banks picks up his dude. All Claiborne then has to do is just make one person miss. You're completely fine if you're past the line of scrimmage and say, hey, can you make one guy miss? That's what at a certain point running back got to do some. Claiborne did it there. 10 yards. 9 yards probably. 10 yards. They went jumbo and they magically started running the ball. Well, again here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With people crowding in. So 8 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blockers, and Banks can come in too. So 9. Gonna come over this way. Wow, they're even / +1 in the run game. I wonder what happens here.
The play clock down to 3. Griffiths hands back to Claiborne.
Good. Just you just have the numbers, and then you put yourself 3-4 yards ahead and say, hey, now make someone miss. That puts you in a fantastic position. I like the jumbo package a lot. I think they'll use it more. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The knife's on the backside though. He can't really scrape across. So, and you've got Banks on him. You're even in the running game. Wonder if something good happens.
You go back to Damon Claiborne, finds a seam, stiff arm, and scores. Numbers.
It's about numbers. They ran the ball well when they had good numbers, and they were trying to run it against bad numbers. Look at all the Deacon Brews up there. Wake running the ball against equal or better numbers, good. Against when they don't have the advantage in the numbers game, bad. That's all that boils down to. I'm not gonna run through the last drive, which is just a bunch of walk-ons and just third string guys. I don't think that's really worth much of the time. But yeah, that's just a little bit of how I see things, how I would walk through a game and see, who's at fault, who's not at fault, what's the positives here. Just kind of break things down and see, is it necessarily what we saw on the first watch. A lot of fun here. If you like this, make sure leave some comments, drop some likes, and as always, go Deeks.